Journalists covering the ongoing anti-government protest have faced a wave of attacks, injuries and arrests in recent weeks. Police have used excessive force against media professionals reporting on demonstrations. Several journalists have been assaulted, shot with tear gas, sprayed with harmful chemicals and even rounded up and brutalized by security forces. This has led the media fraternity to consider nationwide street protest in response to recent police brutality and targeted intimidation. The situation has escalated following the dramatic arrest and subsequent release of veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho, as well as shocking shooting of reporter Catherine Wanjeri Kariuki. Susan Nganga has the full report.
Journalists in Kenya are considering nationwide street protest following recent incidents of police brutality against protesters covering demonstrations, along with what they describe as targeted intimidation. The move comes after the Wednesday dramatic arrest and subsequent release of veteran journalist Macharia Gaitho, which police claim was a case of mistaken identity.
It is true that this morning, shortly after I left home, I was intercepted by an unmarked car by people in plain clothes. They tried to pull me out of the car, but I did not know who they were. As far as I knew, they could have been criminals. So I refused to get out of the car and I resisted. And my son, who was driving, managed to drive away. When I asked them to identify themselves, they refused. Instead, they were slapping me for resisting arrest. And I told them, as far as I know, I'm not resisting arrest because you are not police officers unless you identify yourselves.
Adding to the outrage, Catherine Wanjeri Kariuki, a correspondent for Kameme TV and radio, based in Nakuru, was on Tuesday shot while reporting on protest. The incidents have sparked widespread condemnation among media circles. While condemning the incidents, Kenya Editors Guild President Zubeida Kananu stated that the government must safeguard journalists' rights and freedoms, calling for accountability over Gaitho's mistaken identity.
Kwa sababu huwezi kusema ni mistaken identity. Mash ameeleza kabisa hawaishi pamoja na the Mash wenye wanasema kwamba wanamfuata. Wanaishi maeneo tofauti na ni kitu ambacho tumeona kumekuwa na msururu wa wanahabari kulengwa. Jana tumetoka tu kuzungumza kuhusu mwanahabari aliyepigwa risasi. Wanahabari wetu wamelengwa na vitoza machozi. Wanahabari wetu sasa wamekuwa wao ndio wale wanaitwa criminals. Lugha ambayo inatumika katika nyanja.
Kananu warned that if no action is taken within 7 days, journalists will take to the streets to protest against the ongoing threats they face.
Wengine wao, they are still traumatized to date. Tumeshauriana na DCI, tumeshauriana na DPP, tumeshauriana na IG, lakini nadhani namna ambavyo Masha amesema hapa, statements hazitoshi. Itabidi sasa kama tumesukumwa ukutani. Wakitaka tuingie barabarani tutaingia. Na nadhani hapa ndio umefikia wakati kwamba sasa tutatoa notice, 7 days notice. Kama hakuna yeyote ambaye atachukuliwa hatua, hatutakuwa na budi kuingia barabarani. Kwa sababu inaonekana hiyo ndio lugha ambayo serikali inaelewa.
The Media Council of Kenya has also condemned the shooting. MCK CEO David Omoyo termed the incident as shameful and terrifying. He called on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority to quickly conclude investigations and bring charges to the officers involved. In Nakuru and Kiambu counties, journalists took to the streets to peacefully protest the shooting of Wanjeri as they demanded justice for her. In Nakuru, they were armed with placards, whistles and vuvuzelas. The chanting journalist walked through Kenyatta Avenue and gathered outside Nakuru Central Police Station.
We feel unsafe. Our female colleagues feel threatened.
Giving them by Monday. Kama hatakuwa tumejua nani alipiga risasi, tutakuwa hapa.
Tunamjua.
Ndio tunasema gari ilikuwa gari ya Salga.
Tunamjua.
Since the onset of the demonstration, a number of journalists have been attacked and brutalized by the police while covering the protest. On June 25th, Collins Olunga, a journalist with AFP in Nairobi, suffered an injury caused by a tear gas canister thrown at him by police and was transferred to a hospital.
So I was trying to locate the mechanism, but by then so one of the protesters who apparently would love to meet him because alinisaidia kunipeleka pale Cathedral Lotunga.
Kenya Broadcasting Corporation photographer John Omido was sprayed with water mixed with harmful chemicals, a potent combination that was used to disperse protesters. Justus Mwangi from the Standard was rounded up, brutally bundled into a police vehicle, and later thrown off the speeding vehicle. Maureen Muthoni from the Nation Media Group was injured and arrested. The police attack against journalists who were covering the protest is seen as a deliberate attack on media freedom and a disgraceful attempt to deny Kenyan citizens access to information. Susan Nganga, GBS News.